Hey everybody, welcome back to Echo Base Network. Coach and Nick, today we're looking at 10 things about Tron Legacy that might be new to you. Here we go.
First one is Daft Punk's soundtrack was composed without seeing the film. So I did not know this. The electronic duo Daft Punk, who scored the film, created much of their iconic soundtrack before seeing completed footage of the movie. They worked closely with the director, Joseph Kosinski, drawing inspiration from the original Tron 1982 and their own vision of a futuristic soundscape. Blending orchestral and electronic elements. Their score was so important that some scenes were edited to match the music's rhythm. So that's a pretty cool fun fact there. I actually did not know that they actually did all that without ever even seeing the movie. If you guys have looked at like when John Williams does his scoring for Star Wars films, he's got the movie, playing in the background, and he, puts the music along with what's going on in the movie. Daft Punk did not do that.
Yeah, I like how they reversed edited that. Like they made the scenes of the film match the music that was done, which was done extremely well, I might add.
Oh, God. It was one of the best movie soundtracks of all time.
All right, here we go. Number 2. Jeff Bridges' de-aging was a mixture of CGI and practical effects. And for 2010, it was a great product, for its time. To portray the younger Kevin Flynn in Clue, the film used cutting-edge CGI to de-age Jeff Bridges. However, Bridges also wore a custom helmet with 4 tiny cameras to capture his facial movements, which were then mapped onto a digital model. This was one of the earliest uses of such advanced de-aging tech, predating its widespread use in films like The Irishman. Now, Nick, we look back, it's been 15 years ago. You look back at it today and you're like, it could be better. It definitely looks like 2010, but it still holds up really well.
No, for the time, I thought they did a really good job. All right, guys. Number 3. The iconic light cycle battle, which is a highlight of the film, required over 1,500 visual effects shots and took 68 weeks to complete. The sequence was designed to be viewed in 3D, with animators meticulously crafting the glowing trails and high-speed dynamics to enhance the immersive experience.
The first time I saw a light cycle in Tron Legacy, I wanted one. They actually came out with a battery-operated light bike that is a replica of the Tron light cycle. They cost $80,000 brand new back when back when this movie came out. And they were street ready. They were street legal, but they only got up to like 60 miles per hour. All right, guys. So moving right ahead to number 4. You also can't have Tron without the games. So the real arcade games inspired the set design for Tron Legacy. The arcade in the opening scene where Sam Flynn finds his father's secret lab was filled with functional 1980s arcade games, including a retro Tron cabinet. The production team sourced these from collectors to create an authentic retro atmosphere, and many were playable during filming. Such a great callback to 1980s gaming culture and the arcades, man. I miss going to those arcades because it was an event, man. What are you doing this weekend? I'm heading over to Pocket Change, or whatever.
Yeah, arcade in the mall.
Exactly.
Nowadays we got, barcades, which are
fun.
Which are making comebacks, for adults. But the cool thing about going to the arcade back then was seeing like when the new games came out. Like, did you see the new game? They're not coming out with a whole lot of new arcade games. I mean, they are like you can go to Dave and Buster's and see a lot of new arcade games that are coming out. But for the most part, it's not like it was in the 80s. No. Yep. So number 5. Guys, Olivia Wilde's costume was a technical marvel. Olivia Wilde's character Cora wore a skin-tight suit covered in luminescent panels. The costume was made from a special foam latex material embedded with hundreds of tiny LED lights powered by batteries hidden in the suit. It took hours to put on, and the lights had to be recalibrated between takes to maintain their glow. Good Lord, I can only imagine what a nightmare it was for her freaking dealing with that.
Yeah.
Jeez
She's
Louise. But
she's the
it
goat.
looked great. It looked great. And
Yeah.
she is freaking hot. So,
She was a great character in that movie, and she was designed extremely well. I
yep.
completely agree. So, moving on to the sixth thing that you didn't know about Tron Legacy. The film's 3D was shot natively, it was not converted. Unlike many films of its era that used post production 3D conversion, Tron Legacy was shot with real 3D cameras, specifically the Pace Fusion 3D system. This choice made the visuals crisper, but required the crew to adapt to bulky equipment and precise calibration, especially for action sequences. You gotta go see Tron on the biggest screens possible to take complete advantage for the way that it was filmed.
All right, guys. Number 7. Cillian Murphy's cameo was deliberate tease. Cillian Murphy appears briefly as Edward Dillinger Jr., son of the original Tron's villain. His role was intentionally small to set up a potential sequel where he'd play a larger part. Though a direct sequel never materialized, his presence ties into the film's lore and hints at unresolved storylines.
And number 8, the grid was inspired by real-world architecture. The sleek, neon-lit look of the grid drew inspiration from modernist architects like Le Corbusier and the futuristic designs of Zaha Hadid. Director Joseph Kosinski, an architect by training, wanted the digital world to feel like a tangible, structured environment rather than a purely abstract one. And that's one thing we talk about escapism, Nick, and with our sci-fi movies and fantasy movies. Bro, you can't be in more of an escapist atmosphere than in the grid in Tron Legacy. And if I could go there in the real world, if I could go into the grid for an hour, I would totally pay for that vacation.
Oh yeah, that would be freaking awesome. Like when you first see Sam Flynn come into the grid and he's standing there outside of the arcade but it's the arcade in the grid.
Yeah.
Everything looks great in there.
Amazing.
Just talking about it, I want to go back and rewatch this.
We need a game where we're running around in there looking fantastic.
Yeah. All right, guys. Number 9. A deleted scene explained Korra's origins. Cutscene delved deeper into Korra's backstory as an ISO, spontaneously evolved program. It showed her creation and bond with Kevin Flynn, but it was removed to keep the pacing tight. Some fans have speculated this scene could have added more emotional weight to her character. Now, this is one thing I have not seen a lot of. And actually, I don't know if I've seen any, but deleted scenes from Legacy. I don't think I've ever watched or seen any deleted scenes from Legacy.
I agree with what you said that it would have had a little bit more meaning if we could have seen the moment Kevin Flynn meets Korra. We saw the moment that the ISOs marched up and Flynn's looking at him and he's marveling at this creation that just manifested. But if we could have seen the first moment between he and Korra, that would have been a significant, heartfelt moment. And finally, at number 10, the film used a real Incom website for marketing. To build hype, Disney created a functional website for Incom, the fictional company in the Tron universe. Fans who explored the site found Easter eggs, including hidden messages and a viral marketing campaign tied to Flynn's disappearance, blurring the line between fiction and reality. And that is fantastic. That is fantastic that they do that you're able to go to the site and engage in that universe and feel like you're a part of it.
Yeah, I remember when they did that, and I actually visited the site several times, leading up to that movie.
There was a lot of messages posted everywhere on social media around the world. Flynn lives. Back during that time. So maybe he still does. We'll see. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us. That is the 10 things about Tron Legacy that you probably didn't know. One of my personal favorite movies of all time.
Yep, one of mine Also, absolutely love this film. And it was cool to look at some of these facts that most people probably didn't know about, and I did not know about several of them.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Let us know in the comments what you think. We fight for the users. See you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.